This is a fairly typical electric heater in my house, and it's very useful if a room gets cold and you want a bit of heat. You can just switch it on here, turn the dial up, and hey, the heat starts coming out of it. Amazing, an amazing invention. Where does this heat come from? Well, it comes from electricity. It's an electric heater, and the electricity comes via the national grid, and the electricity is produced largely by coal and gas power stations. Some of it comes from nuclear, some of it comes from renewable, but there's one thing for sure. After this heater is switched off, the room does not stay warm. It continues to cool down again until all the heat that was produced by this heater is lost. So the heat and energy produced by this heater is wasted. And I think this is why the world is heating up. We produce heat via combustion processes, and eventually that heat is lost to the environment. And I'm not the only person who thinks this. I'm going to show you a paper produced a couple of years ago by someone who thinks that waste heat is causing global warming rather than CO2. An interesting idea, but rather an obvious one in my view. Now, combustion is a chemical reaction that produces heat, and it's an exothermic reaction. All heat-producing reactions are exothermic. Energy is released in the form of heat or light, which causes the temperature of the surroundings to rise. And here's an example. A hydrocarbon reacts with oxygen to form CO2 and water. Now, CO2 and water are both greenhouse gases, but look at the amount of heat that's produced here, minus 2221 kilojoules per mole. Waste heat has a significant amount of energy that is lost during combustion processes and escapes into the atmosphere. It can be found in many forms, including exhaust gases, but it comes from other places too. Now, Bian Qinghan has shown that waste heat is the dominating root cause of all global warming. Greenhouse gases are not the culprit of global warming. Instead, huge amounts of residual heat or waste heat. Waste heat does not just come from combustion processes, but is wasted in renewable energy sources as well. For example, solar power can waste as much as 85 watts of heat, and the waste heat from wind turbines can have an impact on the local environment by increasing the temperature of the land surface. So it's not just combustion, it's other processes as well, and other than carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases. Just to back up what I've been saying, I wanted to show you this proxy graph of CO2 measurements versus global temperatures over many million years. And I hope you can see here that there is no correlation or link between the amount of CO2 and the global temperature. Merry Christmas, everybody.